My dudes, you are here with Taya from Team Journey TC. That is very exposure in my backlighting, but who cares? There's nothing back there. So, if you're not subscribed, you should go do that now. And if you are, there is your high five. Thank you so much for being subscribed. It's cool. It's cool being subscribed to me. It's nice. But anyway, I've now seen this movie twice because my friends wanted to go see it and they had not seen it. So I feel as though I have notes, so I feel as though I am prepared, confident, able to talk about this movie again to describe to you some of the things you may or may not have missed. They were kind of obvious, but I at least was confused until I started, looking at some things. So the main thing we're going to be talking about is the use of family in this movie. As you all know, I like this movie. I particularly like this movie. It gets better the second time you watch it. So I'm just saying, if you haven't seen this movie, there will be spoilers. Obviously, it literally says ending explained. I already know what the title of this video is going to be. How did you think there weren't going to be spoilers? If you didn't, there are. You should go watch it. You should go watch it twice because it gets better. And yeah, so the first thing we're going to talk about is obviously the ending, in which she goes, somebody asks her, she's on Tatooine, someone asks her, who are you? And she goes, Rey, obviously. And then she's like, what's your last name, basically? She says family name, but what's your last name? And she goes, Skywalker. See, I was confused. I thought she would either have accepted who she was, or she would be, denying that she was Palpatine. But no, Rey and Leia show up, and then she's like, as, Force ghosts or whatever, and then she's like, I'm a Skywalker, which is obviously interesting because she's not a Skywalker, and my friends made a funny joke saying that now her and Kylo kissing is sort of incest if they're both Skywalkers, which I don't think was the point she made from it. And I, of course, was like, no. But I thought that was funny. When you think about it, by her own admission, and it would not be the first time in the Star Wars franchise that, I'm just saying. But basically, what she wanted to mean by this, which I assume was pretty obvious, was the fact that she, in turn, sort of became adopted by the Skywalkers, and so that was her identity. That's who she identified with as being part of their family instead of being a Palpatine or whatever. Which I thought was interesting, and it made me go back throughout the movie and look at all the times in which this can be seen. Even sometimes in the last movie, although that's in The Force Awakens when she comes over and hugs her, that's the first sign. But that's sort of So mostly in this movie, and it obviously starts with Leia as her adopted mother, quote unquote, if we're gonna say it. And if you look at actual adopted people, they're very much, when they know that they're adopted, if they're adopted really young, or sometimes if they're adopted older, then they already know. Especially if they're adopted older, they want to know where they're from or whatever, which obviously we can see through Rey clear as day. She wants to know who her parents are, literally every single second of the day, and she doesn't know who they are until later. But her Leia, as a adopted mother would, tells her that not to worry about who she actually is, and that it's unimportant, which is honestly true for most adopted kids, because it is, and it's good to know, but your adopted family is kind of, your actual family, which is the point that they make in the end, that things are stronger than blood, such as adoption, I guess. It can also be seen by the fact that she notices that Leia dies, which was previously seen by Leia to her brother, and of course by Leia to her husband. It's shown for people that you love, which are very with, which kind of also symbolizes that she was very close to them and sort of loved them. So that's basically all the evidence showing that was the main theme trying to be shown there. And now we're just going to discuss some other things that are kind of just random, but I want to talk about them. The Kylo and Han scene where he's in memory, which is kind of confusing, and obviously a lot of things come back from the Force Awakens, in terms of like how that scene goes. He's like, whatever, I know what I must do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it. And then he throws his lightsaber. But then Han Solo says, I know, which is if you missed it, I missed it the first time, I noticed it the second time, is a callback to The Empire Strikes Back, which I thought was kind of interesting and also means that possibly what Kylo was trying to say to his dad is that I love you, but he doesn't have a memory of that, so I don't know, that kind of, I just didn't think about it too hard, but I thought that that was nice and that that was sweet. There's also when Luke catches a lightsaber, of course, Mark Hamill looks so happy to be in this movie. He's like, this is no way a lightsaber should be treated, which is obviously a callback to The Last Jedi, in which he threw his lightsaber away. Just off the cliff, it's gone. I just. Oh yeah, the voices that she hears when she's looking at Palpatine. I didn't know who they were the first time going around, but the second time we had closed captionings, which was funny. Um, because the reason it was funny is that they basically had just like female Jedi voice 1, female Jedi voice 2, male Jedi, Jedi 3, like just like they didn't name them, and there were a couple that were obviously named like Anakin, Obi-Wan, Yoda. I don't remember who else was in there. I will tell you who they were now, but basically things like that. They just didn't name a couple of them. They do have names. If the names were Obi-Wan Kenobi, obviously, Qui-Gon Jinn, Anakin Skywalker, Luke Skywalker, Luminara, Ashoka, Addie, and Kanan. Yeah. So those were the people. The ones I'm assuming didn't have names were Luminara. Ashoka had a name, but Luminara didn't. Addie, I'm assuming, didn't. Those are all people from Clone Wars. So yeah, those are some Easter eggs in the ending explain. Don't ask for me to explain to you the yellow lightsaber. It still doesn't make any sense to me. I looked up what they mean. Yellow can mean keeping Sith away, but it seems more like that wasn't exactly what they were going for. But it's okay. So that's all I got for you today. Next one will probably be Connections to the Last Jedi, which there are quite a few actually, and how they sort of retconned but also kept some of the story from there, and ultimately I think made Last Jedi a better movie. Not that I don't want to see it again, but I don't know. But I'll see you in the next one. So subscribe and turn on notifications if you want to see that video. I know you do. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it for me. It takes like 2 seconds. Okay?